All right, so I had an interesting suggestion from someone. They said that I should try to do it so that each word starts with the same letter that the previous word ended with. Now this is going to be really tricky because that means that whatever the final answer is, the guess before it needs to end with the letter that answer starts with. So it's definitely going to be helpful to figure out what the first letter of the answer is. So I don't know the best approach to this. Obviously, I want to start with a word that's 5 unique letters and ends with a letter that won't be too difficult to start the next word with. So I don't want to do something like store that's going to end in an E, I don't think, like I might do a lot of times. Ending in an S might not be too bad. Ending in a T later wouldn't be too bad. R is okay. I feel like T or S would be better at the end. Could do carts. It's not terrible. The C is the worst part about that one. Or we could do something like chant, but heart might not be too bad. Check a couple of vowels. I like ending in T. I feel like there's a lot of words that start with T for our next one. So you have to be a lot more strategic when you're doing it this way. All right, let's go with heart. I don't know. Yeah, let's just do that. All right, so see, now the problem is we have to start the next word with a T, but we know there's no T in the answer. So all we've got is the A. You could do something like toast, but I don't really want to end in a T since we know there's no T. Oh, and the A isn't third. Yeah. I was just thinking A would be good, but so TA something maybe? It seems pretty good. Because we can't do TH or TR. So TA seems like a good plan. TAI? What would that be? We could do something like table, but we know there's no E, and we don't want to have to start the next word with an E. Ending in an S might be a good idea this time. I mean, you could do something like talks, but K isn't a great letter. Tacos wouldn't be too bad. Checking for an O would be good. Let's try that. Okay, well, we located the A, so now we have to do something that's SA. Something sail, but we need another. We don't want to do sales, obviously. L would be good to use. Maybe N, F, D, those would be okay. G. It would be nice to try another vowel, like an I, maybe a U. S-A-U, or Y. We could do sadly. That's not terrible. Or Sandy. Now the problem with this is our next word has to start with a Y then. Ooh, you know what we could do? Instead of guessing another vowel, we could check to see if there's an extra A. There could be 2 A's. And this lets us start the next word with a D. Now this doesn't check as many new letters though is the problem, and we only have the A so far. So the question is, do we check for another A and get to start with a D next time? Or do we check more unique letters and have to start with a Y? Now, salad versus sadly is really only checking one extra letter, the Y. Because either way, we're checking for an L and a D. I think I'm gonna go with salad. There's a decent chance that there's 2 A's. I mean, that's certainly possible. There's also a decent chance that it ends in a Y. All right, I'm gonna go with sadly. I think I want to do the extra letters. I don't know. I think it could go either way. I keep going back and forth in my head, but I'm just doing this. I'm gonna stop thinking about it. Okay, so there was no Y, but now we need to do a word that starts with Y. Now we don't necessarily have to do the A, I guess, because we're not really following hard mode since we're reusing gray letters too. So, I could do yield. But that doesn't, the L is in the same spot. You know, before I start, so I'm so focused on what can I guess starting with a Y, why don't I think about what the answer could actually be? Because, remember what I said, we have to end a word with the first letter before we can guess it. And actually, So we've got A. It could be L-A. I think we almost have to have another vowel, whether it's a second A or it's an I or a U. I think there's got to be another vowel. D. Something ID. Ooh. Valid would work. That would be a valid answer. Now, if that's the answer, there's probably something else it could be. Is palate a word? Not really sure on that one. I'm not sure though. That might not be an answer. That might not be a word. Valid is definitely a valid word. So, is there a word that I can think of that starts with Y and ends in V? I don't think there is. In fact, I think ending in V is going to be really tricky. So, ballad? No, ballad has 2 L's, right? Ballad? I think so. I think ballad is 6 letters. Palette is 6 letters too, isn't it? Yeah, it is. Okay. They're both 6 letters, I think, with a double L. Okay, so I think it's got to be valid. So now I just need a word that ends in V. It doesn't even have to, oh, it has to start with a Y. Oh, I can't even think of a word that ends in V, let alone starting with Y. Because I was thinking, I've got 3 guesses. I could do something starting with Y that ends in a letter, that I could then do a word that ends in V starting with that, and then, but I can't even think of any words that end in V. This was a terrible day to do this, apparently. All right, well, I can't think of any words that end in V, so I'm gonna go ahead and just guess valid. I will be solving the Wordle. I will be failing the challenge. So you can let me know in the comments that I cheated by not following the challenge. But I'm pretty sure the answer is valid. It's the only possible answer I can think of. I can't think of any 5-letter words that end in V. So let me know in the comments also what words end in V, a 5-letter word that ends in V, because I can't think of one. I'm gonna go ahead. I'm pretty sure it's valid. Is it valid? It is valid. Okay, there we go. So, I mean, I got the answer. I solved the Wordle. I'll have to try this again another time maybe. This was a bad day to do it, I think, because I don't know that there's any words that end in V. There's gotta be some, but I sure couldn't think of any. So, anyways, sadly, I was not able to complete the challenge, but I did get a valid answer. So let me know if you also heart tacos and how you did with today's Wordle, and be sure to subscribe for more puzzles.